I'm on a hike with the dogs, and I'm going to just do my talk right here. Today I'm going to be talking about veganism and carnivores. I used to be a deep lover of steak and chicken and even fish and stuff. Ooh, look how awesome that looks. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I know. But it's quite interesting with doing my workout and stuff. I see certain people on YouTube that are carnivores / vegetarian kind of eaters. And there's a Scottish guy named Andrew. And blanking what his last name is. I'll write it down when in the description below. I don't know what's going on over here. Some dog. But he tried being vegetarian for a little while and it didn't work out. So he does eat proteins like chicken and steak and eggs and things like that, but he does eat a bunch of vegetables and fruit and stuff. And then I watch Tim Scheif. I've watched him for quite a while. I actually found him on the FoodTube, Jamie Oliver's channel and stuff. I'm watching out for the bus and a million other dogs. I'll come back in a moment. So between Tim Scheif and Andrew, he's Scottish. I say Andrew. Their workout style is the same, but their bodies are totally different because of what they eat. Andrew, he is very, very bulk. He's not totally short. He's like 5'7", I think he said. Or something around that. My dogs always go to this side of the street. They always run to the right side. The bus is coming, so I have to stop for a moment. But their eating styles are somewhat similar, and I like that. Like, I watch them because they're not the same, but their workout stuff is kind of the same. They're very into weightlifting, and Tim, he's very, oh my gosh, they're like pulling my arm off. Very excited about leaves. They like leaves. But Tim, he uses body weight. And I also too. But I get from like Chelsea Lifts, or Beyond Week, or Obese the Beast. Those are all YouTubers, channel names. Another stop. But I watch them for their weightlifting, not their education or food. I eat what I feel like I want to eat. I have the craving diet. It doesn't matter if I want something sweet. It doesn't matter if I want something salty or junky or healthy or anything like that. It's between how your workout ends up to be in the end of the day. Do you feel kind of grossed out because you had a hamburger and fries before you went to the gym? Or do you feel healthy and amazing after you had a giant, huge salad with a papaya durian dressing over the top of it before going to the gym? That actually sounds really good. But it's things like that, like what makes you feel your best when going to the gym, and what makes me, the things you find on my road, but what makes me feel happy with eating and stuff, it doesn't matter if I'm eating cereal in the morning with some fruit, or I have some pancakes, and then in the afternoon I have like a burrito or something like that. I always try to equal out like my sugars and my salts and my carbs and my vegetables and my protein and all that stuff. Even though I'm vegan, I try to get as much protein in me as possible. My gosh, they're really loving these leaves. But with watching Tim, he eats a load of vegetables and rice and beans and all that stuff, as much as he can. And then, I'm gonna walk backwards because they're about to pull my arm off. Hey, can you guys like walk normal, please? Come on. I know, leaves, amazing products of the world. Wow, it's gorgeous out tonight. It's really evening time. It's 4 o'clock. But it's quite interesting because I watched Chelsea Lift. Blanking on her last name. And I watch her and she has changed her diet so much drastically in the since the summer. So it's kind of interesting. Like, she used to poke in like the most unhealthiest way. Alright, I gotta turn around because my neighbor's coming this way and he doesn't like me. Alright. Bowie, come on. Let's go. Stop. Alright. He's like freaked out. He doesn't like cars. He stayed calm there. Good dog. Come on. But yeah, it's quite interesting because I watched her and now she's going and she's eating a lot more vegan things, alternatives for breakfast. She's having like a healthy smoothie for breakfast that has like cashew milk instead of using like whole milk or something that Andrew would probably have. And I usually say, oh yeah, cashew milk, it's okay. I don't like it, but it's fine. Alright, I had to stop there because my neighbor, he really dislikes me and my dogs. And he speaks out loud, and he shouldn't. And his wife is the sweetest lady ever, and I'm just sad that he's acting like that. On Halloween, went to their house to say hi and stuff with the dogs, and he said something out loud to her, and I think he heard. Yeah, I think he knew that I heard it, but totally ignored it. And I told my dad, and I was like, it was rude. It was actually really rude, what he said. But she actually really liked the dogs in their costumes, and I brought them over to show her, not him, because he's so judgmental. I don't like it. I'll go into another discussion about that some other day. Probably tomorrow I'll talk about like how people like and dislike of people with pets and stuff. But going along with the food and stuff, I can eat really whatever I feel like. I just have to feel good about actually eating it. Now, the last month and a half, 2 months, I've been eating gluten. And yesterday I had some rye bread from When Pigs Fly because I had it in the freezer, and I had that with some chili, and I felt instantly a headache. But did I stop eating the stuff? No, I kept on eating it. And today I was like, no, I'm not going to eat any gluten at all, no matter if I want to eat it or not. And I do have a blood sugar disorder. It's not diabetes, it's definitely not that. It's just the glucose issue. Like, if I eat too much white flour or wheat or something, I get migraines. And some people would call it celiac. I don't, because I don't get seriously sick. My dog is trying to get hit by a car. How ridiculous. I would love to get tested to see if it is celiac, because I do get stomach issues and headaches and all that. But with meat eaters, when I was younger, I used to love steak. I used to love chicken, and once in a while I would eat fish. And as I got older, into my 20s, I ate a lot of fish. A lot. Crazy amount of fish. And I haven't eaten a piece of land meat in 6 years. I was 20. I was in culinary school. I was like, I don't want to eat lamb. And I always had that saying, I was like, I don't want to eat baby animals. And it was kind of interesting. My family didn't understand that, but now, because I'm vegan, they're like, I understand why you didn't want to eat baby animals. And that was my neighbor, one of my friends' dads, I think, just drove by. Everyone around here. I know everyone, almost everyone. And it's kind of scary. Almost every single person here I know, really, really well. That's what Freeport does to you. You know everybody. But yeah, it's quite interesting. When I was younger, I loved steak. Steak, mashed potatoes, peas, and there was this one type of, it was sort of like a soy sauce, sesame oil dressing thing, and it was sweet. My grandmother, she used to go to the store up in Canada, and before I would get up there when I was little, she would go to the store, pick up me about 2 to 5 bottles, and they would be gone. They would be gone in a matter of months. I would drink the stuff. Really, I would drink it. I would take it, but don't have the bottle on the plate or on the steak or mashed potatoes or something. But that flavor, that's always stuck in my mind. I've tried finding it, and it's President's Choice. And it's no longer something. It's gone. But, oh my gosh, I had to change arms. My arm was gonna hurt. From lifting yesterday, I lifted 90 pounds. And tomorrow I'm gonna try to do a little bit heavier. Probably 95. If I can do 100 Saturday, I would be really happy with myself. If I can actually lift 100 pounds on Saturday, I'd be really happy. But it's interesting that when I was little, I always asked for steak. And I liked pork chops. I loved beef stew when I was 18. I found a recipe for beef stew, and I loved it. Like, I ate tons of it. And then I think when it was the first week I went into culinary school, I saw some meat. No, it was when I was 18. That's what it was. I turned 18, and I was working at a grocery store called Bow Street. There's some weird sound going on. I think it's a squirrel. A little chipmunk, when Bowie sees it, great. Run, little chipmunk, run. But I was working in the butcher area sometimes, cutting meat, and I just thought it was horrifying to my eyes, like my little eyes. And I was young. I was 18 years old, and I wasn't happy. The smell, everything about me. I just was like, no, it's not gonna happen. And I would go home with meatloaf that night, or chicken or something, at the end of the night for dinner. And then I went to culinary school, and they were trying to get me to eat lamb, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat that. And the teacher was like, yes, you are. And I'm like, no, I am not eating that, you witch. But yeah, like, that opened my eyes to vegetarianism. And I love that no matter if you're a meat eater in my family or a vegetarian, I think I am the only vegetarian, or vegetarian, the only veggie person in my family. Brandon, he would eat vegan, or vegetarian. He would eat vegetarian. He mostly eats pescatarian, but he once in a while eats hamburger or something. But my family's not really a big red meat eater, unless my dad has like pork chops or something. Hey, get out of the yard. I gotta put you down for a moment. My arm's really hurting. But what I'm trying to get to is, the point is, if you feel good with eating meat and you're doing a workout and all stuff and you want to get your protein that way, go ahead, do it. But don't eat high fat stuff. You guys, I see Chelsea eat really high fat stuff, and sometimes I'm like, I know it works for you, but some of your clients, I don't know if that would really work, because some people would probably want to be losing weight instead of gaining fat weight. And for me, yes, I eat very sweet and salty, greasy stuff sometimes. For lunch, I had some vegan gluten-free chili, and then I had a bag of potato chips. But I was counting those calories. I was counting the salt and stuff. The salt wasn't too bad. It was Cape Cod reduced fat. Chips, 40%. I'm like, that's really not that different. It was just like 10... The original were 170 calories for a bag. For half a bag. And for a whole entire bag of the 40% reduced fat, those were 250 for the whole entire bag. Now, that's 120 calories for half a bag. It's not bad. Gotta put you down again. My arm's really hurting. But, yeah. If you're having issues with counting calories and salts and sugars and, fat and carbs and all that stuff, get a little book and, write down all your stuff. And plus, Chelsea lifts you can email her, and or message her or something. She tries to get to everyone. Or you can tweet her. Blanking her last name. I'll write it. It will be at the bottom of this video. In the description box. But you can definitely talk to her because she's actually a trainer. And she's decently young. She's 22. I think. 22, 23. But she's a personal trainer. And I love that about her. And the more I learn from her, the more I know how to lift, and it doesn't matter about the eating thing. I eat what I feel like I want to eat. My gosh, my arm is killing me. I'll finish at home. I'm just gonna end right now. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have some workout issues, or you're gaining weight and you don't want the weight, and you're trying to diet, but you're eating meats and fatty things and those little microwave lean cuisine, I think they're called. I don't know. And those healthy heart foods and Campbell's soups and Progresso's high in sodium. All of those meals have a cake load of sodium and a cake load of sugar. Plus there's MSG in them, and it's not good. Just try and figure out a healthier way. Like, if you really want a healthy diet, try and find a better way to get it. No. Get out of the road, you dork. Oh, buoy. I'm on a short leash, but silly things running from the car is acceptable. Well, the grass is really green here. That's crazy. Yeah, probably. Oh my gosh, I don't like this. They're pulling, and I don't like it. Alright, I'm gonna say, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions or anything, please comment down at the bottom. And thanks for watching. Good night.